Alan Shearer slams the worst Man United team I've seen in my lifetime, and claims they'd be a million miles away from top clubs even if they had a fully fit squad. Alan Shearer believes this is the worst Man United team he has ever watched. They have had more than 60 first-team injuries this year. Is that an excuse? Alan Shearer thinks this is the worst Man United team he has ever seen. Even when Erik ten Hag has a full fit squad to choose from, United have endured a dismal season, with ten Hag's men languishing in 8th place in the Premier League heading into the final week of the campaign. While they have reached the FA Cup final, where they will take on Manchester City, they're on course for their lowest ever Premier League finish. Have lost a record 14 games in the rebranded top flight, and have conceded 71 goals in all competitions, the most since 1971. They went out of the Champions League in the group stages, recently got hammered 4-0 by Crystal Palace, and lost 1-0 to Arsenal with an insipid performance and an Old Trafford roof leak. I think that's the worst Man United team I've seen in my lifetime, Shearer, who was born in 1970, said on the Rest is Football podcast. You can't fault their effort, they tried, against Arsenal. But in terms of ability, and I know they've got loads of injuries, but would you argue against me being the worst in my lifetime that I've seen? Injuries are definitely a mitigation. United have suffered more than 60 first-team absences this season. However, they don't crack the top 3 in the Premier League for cumulative games missed due to injury, while United players have missed 233 games. Brentford are on 255, Newcastle 258, and Chelsea are on 309. While Erik ten Hag has been forced to improvise with 14 different centre-back pairings and slotting Casemiro at the heart of the defence, there is little excuse for the Brazilians' failure to push up before Arsenal scored. They've been in decline for such a long time that it is going to take them a long time to get anywhere near. They're miles off it, Shearer added. Even the players that you mentioned who are out injured, even if they are all fit, it's still going to take them a long time to be challenging. To be where City are, or where Liverpool have been, or Arsenal, they're a million miles away. Even with those, Micah Richards expressed sympathy for United's young stars who have shouldered such a burden. Considerable pressure has fallen on Kobbie Mainoo, Alejandro Garnacho, and Rasmus Højlund. I have to agree that this is the worst team, because they're just not ready yet. They've not got the guidance that they need, Richards said. Consistently having to see young players deal with off-field, on-field, is the manager going to be here? There's no long-term plan. I feel for the players because at the moment it's making very good, young, top players look very average, and they're better than that. But Wayne Rooney has argued that some of their injured stars can actually play. Some of those players can play, 100%, United's record goalscorer told Sky Sports. Because they're getting a little bit of stick, it's easy for players to stay out and come back towards the FA Cup final and get themselves right for the European Championships. I've seen it for myself over the years. The players who have been injured are not filling themselves with any credit at the minute, and the manager is taking all the stick for it. I think the players have to really look at themselves, because when you've got your manager doing an interview and he's talking about attitude, and players' attitude not being right to play for Manchester United, that is a massive insult. If I see my manager saying that, then there's no way I just let that ride until the end of the season. And it looks like some players are just trying to get to the end of the season. Speaking on Sky Sports, Roy Keane echoed Rooney's thoughts, saying, "Obviously, that's not a good sign. There's always a few players at every club I think that can drag their heels with an injury. There's lots of players out there at certain stages of the season when they have an injury or a lack of confidence and they're out of it, they're not in a hurry to get back in the team.